Lincoln or the Cornhusker State, you probably noticed the one name that we did not say in there. Brooke Andrews, once again out today. Stalwart in center field for Nebraska. Swing and a miss, there's strike three. Brooke Andrews out with an upper. Here comes the 1-1. And it's right off the hands, popped up. Boyd called off by L.A. Matthews, who's come sprinting in from first for the second out.
Got a little bit scary there for a second, but that's what you like.
Here's a 3-2. It missed inside. Well, Boyd wanted the call. Peyton Cody flashes the good bat control and zone. You may notice that. A little bit of a different broadcast production-wise today. Good reason why, though. Sammy Bland swings at the first pitch and shoots it down the left field line. Sammy Bland is certainly on the radar as a freshman and scorches that to give Nebraska a chance.
Plate conference, and we just didn't know, but again, that speaks to the versatility of the DP spot as well.
0-2, she starts to swing, and Todrick Davis says she went around. So Brooke Andrews grabs a bat, but
Rutgers number 2 to try to get that win, and it worked out well for the Huskers.
Sand loops it over the shortstop, Billy Andrews, and into center field, where you may have noticed Brooke Andrews is located. That's the intrigue we're talking about. And Butler, according to the head coach. L.A. Matthews tries the bunt. Sand steals, and she's in there safely. Fifth swipe Rutgers has earned this weekend without being caught.
And, you know, that's one thing that Nebraska, until the Huskers can prove that they can throw you out.
Matthews slaps it to left. That sends Bland back. Here's Sand tagging the throw, not in time. Kylie Sand, we've talked about it, speed for days, and that on display right there.
How about the aggressiveness note from Sand? That ball is right in front of her. That she's leading the Big Ten in home runs with 19.
Smith whacks it the other way. Andrews is back on the track. It's off of her mitts. Oh, it was in play, but off the heel of the glove. Smith never stops running. She's at third with an RBI triple. Well, in fact, in the end, it may go down as an error. 2-0. Wingert loops it into right. Hard charge. Catch is made. That's Neal over there, and she flashes a cannon for an arm. Now, Caitlin Neal has pitched a few times as a Husker, and that pitcher's arm on to try it again. And that time Linkavage definitely at first. Hit by the pitch on that lead leg. She gets plunked all the time, Linkavage does. Runners on the corners now for Leilani Chavez.
It's honestly an art to get hit.
Not any warmer.
Not much warmer. Only about an hour from here at Rutgers.
A one to Chavez upstairs. Linkavage is headed to second. Here comes Smith. She sticks the hand in. The double steal works to perfection. Linkavage wanted to be chased. Nebraska wasn't giving it to her, but even still, Smith speeds home to score. TN right now, so appreciate all those of you who are split screening this weekend. It's Nebraska-Rutgers playing baseball as well. Chavez waits on it, and Billy Andrews handles the final out of the first inning. But Rutgers with some big power and
works her way out of it.
Here comes a 1-1. Neal pulls it off of Matthews, but the ball is right by the base. And works out all right for the Rutgers first baseman.
That's all you really have to do in that situation if you're L.A. Matthews.
Was not the top pitcher. This is cracked on the ground is short. Kylie Sand scoops it up. 2 away.
And it's a mindset shift, you know, so you...
Fields wound up striking out. Ball 4. And second free pass that Maddie Boyd has distributed so far.
And if you're Nebraska, that's what you want to do. You want to see more pitches.
Boyd 2 strikeouts in the first inning and came up with a third. Went outside and off speed to set down Breadwell, and at 22 innings last weekend against Penn State has had an easier weekend, quote unquote, so far. As Bach chaps it over to short, and Billy Andrews handles it for the first out.
And you know, despite all of the adversity that they've had, and I love it so much because you think of some coaches who have been in the game for a long time, and it's that old school, like, you know, grit and bear it, like, just get through it. And for Ronda Revelle to say, no, we need to talk about, well, I mean, we just finished up with the women's Final Four, and you've seen what Caitlin Clark did for the game of women's basketball. And
Anderson rolls it. Andrews knocks it down, steps on the bag, and then throws it wildly. Oh, and Anderson went back in the field of play. She's out too. Delayed double play. So Andrews bobbles the ground ball but stays with it, and then Anderson circles back in the tournament. 11-1 atop the conference.
I like what you did there with the top cats.
Thank you. Came to me all of a sudden. Billy Andrews cracks a single, and leadoff runner aboard for the first time for Nebraska. But behind Northwestern at 11-1, that's where that logjam is.
Just thinking from my fellow friends who work in those positions, oh my goodness, that's going to be tricky.
Oh, Kaneda, could this be two? Not with the speed on the bases. Do they even get one? Yes. Todrick Davis thought about it, calls out. Here's Peyton Cody, and she pokes it through the left side, a curling single. That's going to hurt even more now, man. 2 on and now 1 out.
To see them just climb, and now they're in second place in the Big Ten playing some of their best softball.
Linkavage scoops it up. There's 1 out, on to first, safe. Credit the hustle out of Sammy Bland. She was moving from the jump, and she keeps the inning alive as Kaneda goes to third. Long thought there from Boyd for the 0-2. Climbs the ladder. Runner goes to second. They'll leave her there. So Bland advances. Nebraska was trying to replicate Rutgers doubles. Boyd delivers a 2-2. And this is smashed to center. Smith circles on it and makes the catch. The winds have been swirling yesterday. Friday, that might be a 3-run home run, but the wind now blowing in.
High school, why don't you try to throw some innings, which happens more often than you think.
And Sand will reach on the walk. Now Sand now has been aboard 4 of 5 times facing Kinney. Matthews was bunting, but it's a wild pitch. And so Kylie Sand can take second without an out.
This is huge for Rutgers now because, as you said, you don't have to utilize an out. And L.A. Matthews has been hitting very well.
Kinney looking for her first strikeout. She just got it. Doubles up on the change, and strikeout number 1 today for Kaylin Smith. And nothing to hit. Sand is running to third, and she is in. She holds onto the bag. Oh, man. Sand slid right through third base in a jam. Kinney trying to pitch out of it to Katie Wingert, who is bunting on the squeeze. Sand slides. She's in. Now Smith overran second, but the throw is dropped. Rutgers once again capitalizes on its speed. Katie Wingert, the home run leader. Assume the results, but could have easily been scoring for the Huskers there. As Linkavage grounds this to second, Kaneda gets the middle runner on to first, safe. Another bang-bang play that goes Rutgers' way. Now Smith advances to third.
Hits it. Now you have both runners in motion.
Pitch. Chavez taps it over to Kaneda, who handles it well but throws it away. Smith scores. Linkavage goes to third. It was tailor-made for the final out of the inning. Kaneda did so well with the short hop, but not the throw.
You're down by 4, chip away, 1 run at a time.
Bach floats it into center field, and Billy Andrews chases it down. Good jump from the shortstop. You expect that, though.
I wouldn't expect anything less. She drops over here is what you're telling me, because everybody seems to be on the same page.
Oh, Caitlin Neal just jacked this one down the right field line. That is long, long gone. Caitlin Neal just jacked it all the way back to Lincoln. And Nebraska's on the scoreboard here in the 4th.
Nebraska is on the scoreboard because Neal just hit that.
It's hit much further in that direction than what Caitlin Neal just did. And now this is chopped deep in the hole. Very tough for Kylie Sand. And it's past Matthews. Bella Bacon put it in perfect spot. 3-1 from Boyd. Is tapped on the ground to short. Sand stops it. They get the first and not the second. These are two teams that are, as we've seen this weekend, very tough to double up. And said, Maddie Boyd, I know that name. Here we are. Big Ten leader in innings pitched, steals a 3-2, but missed it low. Another free pass, the third one drawn today by Nebraska, who also has 5 hits.
Tied for second with that 15th home run.
Looking to bring in more Huskers. And she pops this into shallow left. Sand is out in front of the new left fielder, Hura. And not the out that Billy Andrews was looking for there, 2 down.
Because you are trying to get your team a couple more runs on the board.
Pitch. This is pulled down the line, and it drops in front of Chavez for a base hit. Here comes Gray, the throw, the tag. She's out! Once again, Rutgers runs the relay to perfection. Chavez flung it in, and Gray cut down at the plate. A game where Rutgers leads by 3, but the margin's oh so tight. As Maddie Lawson bloops the first one to center, it drops in front of Brooke Andrews, and Lawson is at second. The wind pulled it in. Brooke Andrews came hustling on. Zaneni is the one that you're going to look back on, especially if you're a Husker fan. Anderson bunting, great one. Runner goes to third. Anderson safe. The throw pulled Bacon off the bag. Bacon leaned at the line to bring in the Breadwell throw.
See if they cut that off or they let it go through.
Looking for the first out as Sand puts it through the gap on the right side. Lawson scores. Anderson trying first to third. She's out now to second, and Sand is in. A run and an out.
On the flip side of that.
It definitely changes the complexion of this inning for Rutgers as Matthews socks it to center. And it hangs for Brooke Andrews. Sand tagging the throw. Good speed, but offline. For a moment, I thought that was going to beat Sand by a mile, but it took Gray way off the base. So here comes the full count offering from Harness. And Smith sends it to center field, hanging. And there is Kaneda for the final out of this very eventful fourth inning. We're in the career. And Cody pulls it. That's a fair ball. Wow, right on the corner of the bag. Cody thought it was foul. I thought it was too. Instead, it's the first out. He's got only 4 years coming in after COVID, as opposed to somebody like a Cody or a Katie Wingert, who's in year 6. And Bland grounds it to second, running the whole way, but not enough. And that's out number 2.
And you know, I think you look at a player like
That's what it is. 1-2 from Boyd. And Andrews serves it into center field for Jillian Anderson. And Maddie Boyd, for the first time today, Winger does have an RBI today, though 0 for 2. And floats this into center. Andrews was out now in and charges hard to get there. All of a sudden, as Wingert contacted the ball, the wind came flying in, straight in from center field. 2 balls and no strikes. Let me get the count right now. And now Linkavage drives it to left field, and that's a home run. Battling the breeze, Peyton Linkavage jolts one to left center field, and she gives the Scarlet Knights some more insurance, a 6-1 lead.
If you're going to hit a home run into the wind, you have to make sure that it's a line drive, because the higher it gets up in the air, the more impact that those gusts are going to have on it, and Peyton Linkavage says, okay.
Dude, that ball. 3-1 the count to Leilani Chavez, who works a walk. And now after Sarah Harness had retired 3 straight batters, it's a homer and a walk.
So then when you put her in left field, it's just like a position switch. So her gets to stay in left field. She's still listed as the DP in box spot.
A very nearly a double play there. But Leilani Chavez is able to retreat on the pop-in on the season. Herka is. 2-2. And she carries this to left field. It's swirling Bland back, and the left fielder does really well with the breeze to record the final out.
That's really tough as an outfielder, and Bland doing what she needed to do and sprinting to the spot. You don't ever want to drift
against them. And he'll take ball 4. I will give you one example. The one that ended the top of the 4th inning, play at the plate, Sydney Gray trying to score on a single from Kate. Even then, it is tough to tell. Bella Bacon chops it to third, to second, no out. Lawson dropped it. And everybody is safe. Now the game's not over yet, and Nebraska able to get a break there.
Expect this to be a strike and take a hack.
It is a strike. It's served to left field. It spins her back. It's off the wall. Caitlin Neal held initially. Now she's hustling home. The throw ends up over the head of the third baseman, and Gray goes to second. I think it's safe to say Sydney Gray is breaking out of that slump. A big double from the Nebraska third baseman, and the Huskers are back within a swing.
She hit that ball on an absolute roll. Best hitters in the Big Ten with runners on second and third right now.
The corners come in for Rutgers, and this is set into left center field. Sands tracking back on it for the first out. The wind blowing in once again helped knock that down for the shortstop. Boyd's 1-2. 2-2, it kicks away from Wingert. Bacon stopped, and now Gray's got to retreat to second. Well, Bacon is the first baseman, not the fastest Cornhusker, and she was not going to test it. Nada is on deck. Here's the payoff. It's upstairs and away. It kicks back to Wingert on ball 4. In the end, it's a free pass. Boyd a couple times has missed her spots. Coming up with the bases loaded. Boyd's first pitch is tapped over to short. Sand flips to third. Safe! Oh, Linkavage missed the base. Everybody's safe. Tondrick Davis right on top of it. Linkavage was searching for third base. Maddie Boyd. 0-2. Tap slowly. Tough play. Lawson tags, and that's it. So another run scores. Gray comes home. Andrews advances to third. Rutgers will get the second out of the inning, trying to at least preserve a lead, which is. And the pitch. Bland cracks it to center. Hangs in the sky. Anderson charges. The wind knocked it down. It drops in. One runs in. Now the other's in too. The pinch runner, the captain, McKinley Maleka, has tied the game. 6-6 in the 6th. What a turnaround from these resilient Cornhuskers.
The wind.
Another example here in the top of the 6th inning in New Jersey. And now Andrews pops it up. Nothing a sure thing, but Matthews squeezes it with 2 hands to end this wild top of the 6th. And what are we in store for this Sunday? Swing and a miss. Harness climbs the ladder, and she collects the strikeout.
That's the defensive response you want if you're Nebraska. You just put up 5 runs in the top half of the 6th and ended up losing their series the day after. So
Sand curls it down the line. Bland leaps and brings it in. Nothing sure for an outfielder today.
Bland kind of chuckled at herself a little bit, and I can understand why, but it's not. What now is your game plan against Harness, who throws a little bit differently than Kinney?
Fifth-year senior deals, and it's bunted. Gray comes charging. The throw out. Nicely spun by the veteran third baseman Sydney Gray.
Called, and hey, she's thrown some heat here in the top of the 7th.
That's for sure. Boyd's ahead, and Neal maybe chased that one a little bit. Pop foul grounds, and Linkavage is under it for the first out.
You know, it's tough, though, with the way that the wind has been.
As well, charged to Kaylin Kinney. It's notable now. As Bacon tries to fit it through the gap, and it's closed off quickly by Peyton Linkavage. The gold glove on display at the hot corner.
Bella Bacon hit that ball really well, but Peyton Linkavage taking a quick step to her left, holding on to it.
She's worked herself ahead once again. And she just blazed it by Sydney Gray for strike 3. Maddie Boyd unloading the tank for a 1-2-3-7. Now the 2-2. Crushed, center, carrying well. Andrews is at the track, and she squeezes it. 2 steps from the fence. Morgan Smith just missed
on it, or you can just figure out how you're going to adapt to it.
Wingert carries it high in the sky to left. Now Bland in front of the track, gloves it right by the line as well. Now both times, foreign outfielders from teams that don't play here every day have made again the 2-2. In the zone for strike 3. Sarah Harness sets down Peyton Linkavage. She goes 1-2-3 through the best part of Rutgers' order. Ava Bredwell leads off against Maddie Boyd, and the first pitch is tapped on a hop to the second baseman Lawson. 1 pitch, 1 away to begin the 8th inning.
Well, now these Nebraska hitters can be a little bit more aggressive, that it's a tie. It's still a rule, and it's something that the NCAA is emphasizing this year in softball. And so when there's a pitch clock violation, you got to call it.
Yeah.
Here, I trust her.
1-0. Bunt again. right at the plate, in the box, fair ball, out on a sacrifice bunt. That invisible line connects from the ends of the plate through the batter's boxes, and so that is a fair ball even in the righty batter's box. Her 130th pitch is smacked to center field. Morgan Smith carrying back, and one hops the wall. Billy Andrews scores easily, and Nebraska has completed the comeback. Peyton Cody's RBI single makes it 7-6 Huskers in the 8th.
That ball.
Pay. Pitch to Bland, that's past the third baseman and into left. Back-to-back singles for Nebraska. They would love to add on some insurance. 0-for-4 with 3 flyouts. And taps it past Linkavage, another single. Stop sign at third, so Cody holds. Nebraska passes the baton in the 8th inning, and now they have the opportunity for some 2-run magic.
What I'm putting down here?
Absolutely. And Neil towered it over the scoreboard. Pitch off the hands. Matthews charges, gloves it. And Boyd is able to get out of further trouble in the 8th inning. But Nebraska, for the first time on this Sunday, has a lead. 1 run on 3 hits, 3 stranded. To the looking for a put away. And came up with it. On the foul tip, it's strike 3. Sarah Harness with some of the best pitching we have seen from her all season long. Harness deals. And Bach crashes one to center, but Brooke Andrews saunters over and squeezes it. 2 away.
It's tough because Buck, again, got a good 5th inning on. So I was actually a little bit surprised to see Chavez swing at that first pitch to lead off the inning.
That's ball 4. And Maddie Lawson is aboard for the 3rd time today.
Jill Anderson just gets frozen by it.
Harness in search of one more. Popped up on the infield. Gray makes the call. She squeezes it, and the ball game is over. Nebraska is resilient once again. A 5-run deficit spins into an extra inning win, and the Huskers come back to win this series at Rutgers 7-6 in 8 innings. What a thriller.
This was one of the most exciting games of softball that I've witnessed so far this season because Nebraska never gave up. And it's not even like they were playing poorly, Dom. They just had a couple calls that didn't go their way that compounded and put them in a hole.